Hey everyone, it's Martino. Today I'm going to be I'm going to show you how to install Windows 8.1 via the command line. This will also work for Windows 8.0 and Windows 7, but the UEFI version of this won't work. I'm going to be doing the MBR version. I did try the UEFI on my physical machine and that worked just fine. I had some problems with the Hyper-V version. There's some other commands I have to type in, but I don't want to do those commands because I don't want other people to see this and then try and type those commands in and get all confused and all this other stuff. So the MBR version will work just fine. I'll show you where to modify certain things to get it to work on the UEFI version, but for the most part, it should just work fine. The reason why I did this is because yesterday I was having some issues with my machine and I wanted to reinstall Windows. I know there's an option to, you know, do a recovery and then reinstall just the OS and not remove your files and stuff like that. But I wanted to move it to a completely different hard drive because the other hard drive that I had a bigger cache and faster speed. It wasn't an SSD, it was still a platter, but it was still fast enough for me. And I'll just make another hard drive with all my games and program files and stuff like that. But the reason why I did it in the command line was because I had two disks. I had a Windows 8.0 and a Windows 8.1. And this is the reason why I do not like using disks. I always, well, for the most part, I take my disks, burn it, well, convert it to an ISO and put it on an external hard drive. And then whenever I need to install an operating system, whether that be Windows or Linux, because most of the Linux distros that I use have grub 2 and that supports EFI and UEFI. But I'll then take that ISO, just extract the files to the USB because all my machines have UEFI support. I don't have to create a boot sector on the media. I just extract the files right onto the USB drive, and oh, sorry. Anyways, and then I will boot off that, and yeah. But the discs that I had, the 8.0 disk I didn't want to use because I didn't want to install Windows 8.0 and then do all the updates and get to Windows 8.1. And the 8.1 disk was badly damaged or scuffed, but it wasn't scuffed enough for me to get my install.wim off of it. The only file that was damaged, which is funny because boot.wim was the only file that was damaged. I could not copy that file off the disk. I tried multiple different methods. I ran xcopy over and over and over, and I tried some other utilities to try and keep trying to copy it off, and it was taking too long, and I didn't want to. I wanted to get the machine up and running that night. So what I did was I took the install.wim off of that disk. I then, on my Windows 8 laptop, if you go into Start menu and type in Recovery, there's an option to create a recovery media. I created a recovery media on a USB drive and dragged that install.wim off of my 8.1 disk into the root of my recovery disk USB drive and booted off that and used DISM to extract the WIM to the hard drive. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to be using Hyper-V, how to do that, except I'm going to be doing it the MBR way. The UEFI way works as well. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. So if you're doing it, you can do it through if you have a Windows installation media disk, a regular Windows install disk. But you will need, if you don't want the WIM that's on the install media, you're going to need another USB drive to then put that WIM on so that you can extract that. But if you have the install media, you'll start here. If you're using the recovery media, you won't start here, but here you'll say next and then repair your computer. On the recovery media, you'll start here. So you want to say troubleshoot, advanced option, and then command prompt. Now, you want to go into diskpart for this option. As soon as that loads, now we want to select disk 0. We want to clean it. You always want to clean your disks. Let's list our disks. This is the disk I'm going to be using. It's an 80 gig hard drive that's in my Hyper-V machine. This 29 gig one is a VHD that I mounted that contains, well, actually, no, it's not a VHD. It's a USB drive that I mounted to Hyper-V so that I can extract the install.wim onto the hard drive. I'll show you in another video how to do that. It's not that difficult, depending on your level of Windows, knowledge, to get it mounted to a virtual, Hyper-V machine. So now that we got that, we do a quick list file, and as you can see, I have an ESD in my DVD drive. If you have a Windows installation media and you want to just test this out, if you go into your, this is in my eDrive/sources, and depending on the media that you have, it'll either be an install.wim or an install.esd. This is an install.esd, but I'm not going to be using this anyways. I'm going to be using another WIM that I have on my drive that I mounted. And this is the name of the drive, recovery. So now what we want to do is, now that we cleaned our disk 0, and that's still selected because you can see the star right there. Now we want to, you don't have to do this. Usually I do this, creating a recovery partition, because what I do is I create the recovery partition and then I copy that install.wim onto the recovery partition for later use. Don't always do that. Like most recently, if I would have just did that on my main machine, I wouldn't have to go through all this. All that, I would have just needed the recovery media, booted off that, and then extracted that. But anyways, I'm going to create a recovery, create partition primary, and it's going to be a size of 3 gigs, and it's going to be ID 27, not 287, 27. Alright, and we're going to format, and it's going to be a quick format. The file system is going to be NTFS, and label is going to be recovery. Let that in. Let's assign, well, we don't really need to assign it a letter. We can. Let's assign it a letter. That way when we get into Windows, it'll have a drive letter for us. So that was assigned and mounted. Alright, now what we need this. We need to create our system partition. And it's going to be a size of 300 megs. We want to format that with quick. File system is going to be NTFS, and label is going to be system. Assign this letter, that way we can make our BCD store, and we are going to make that. We need to make our drive active. Create partition primary. Oh, this will create the rest of this will format the rest of our disk for our actual operating system. Quick file system NTFS. I cannot type at all. I do not like this keyboard at all. But equals Windows. I did something wrong. Format. I'm sure I did something wrong. Yep. And format quick file system label equals Windows. What am I doing? Format spelled horribly wrong. Wow, okay. Sorry, this keyboard sucks, and I'm not on the top of my game right now. Alright, we're gonna assign it a letter C. Alright, so that's created. Now we're gonna exit out of there because we don't need it anymore. Now what we need to do, I need my volumes again. Oh no, I need diskpart. See, I'm really not thinking right now. I need my volumes because I need to know Okay, it's on the D drive. Alright, so I'm going to dir the D drive, and as you can see, my install.wim is right there, 3 gig file. Now, I'm going to dism, I'm going to apply an image. The image file is d drive slash install.wim, and it's going to have an index of 1 because there's only one image on that wim file. And apply dir is going to be your Windows, so C drive, which you assigned it before. Now we're going to let that extract, and that's going to take a while, so just go ahead and wait. Alright, so that finished. Now what we need to do is work on our BCD store. Let's do a boot rec scan OS to see if it sees it. Hey, it sees it, C drive slash Windows. Operation completed successfully. So we're going to boot rec rebuild BCD, I think it was. Yay, yes, I want you to rebuild that. Cool, rebuild it. Boot rec fix boot. We're going to do that and fix MBR because we're working with MBR. Now, just because you have those commands run and you have the BCD store build, if you dir, what was that? S drive? No, not D drive. S drive. As you can see, hey, nothing's there. So we need the BCD boot. It's going to be C drive slash Windows. This mouse. You can do language in US. You don't have to, like that, way by default. S is where our BCD store is going to be put. It's going to be S drive, and F. Now at this point right here, you can say UEFI or UEFI if you just want UEFI, or just all. I'd recommend just saying all. Even if you have UEFI, I recommend doing the fix boot and fix MBR, because you never know. What if something happens to your UEFI configuration? You want to get back into Windows. Let's go ahead and run that command. And so you should be all set. So we're going to exit out. As you can see, it sees our Windows 8 installation right there. If it doesn't, then you probably messed something up. You might want to just go back through and do it step by step again and see if that fixes it before you start asking people on the internet questions, because people on the internet tend to get a very they're assholes. But we're going to turn off the machine. I'm going to eject the media from the disk, and we're going to start our machine back up. And hey, look at that. We got Windows installed all through the command line, and it's up and running. So this is going to take a really long time. I'm not going to show you the rest of this because I'm sure you guys know how to set up Windows 8.1. But hopefully you learned something new, and thank you for watching. Give me some feedback. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know if there's something else you all want to see. You know, some other tips or tricks, some issues that you're having. I can make some more videos. I have a little bit more free time this semester. I'm only taking 3 classes instead of all those other classes, and I'm still working. So I'm working and going to school. So I'm trying to split those, all that time up. I'm taking like astronomy, philosophy, and I gotta have to take an art class. I don't know what art has to do with computer security, or information assurance, what they call it. Maybe they want me to abstractly draw what a DDoS looks like, or how do you think an ASA firewall feels on the inside? Paint that. It's like, oh, okay, I guess. Or, you just want my money, whatever. Anyways, I don't want to, whine and complain. Anyways, let me know what you think, and hope to see you in the next video.